What if I told you that your body's deepest cravings are not a weakness, but a sacred message, a quiet whisper from your soul, asking for what it truly needs? We live in a world that tells us to fight our cravings, to suppress them, to conquer them with willpower. We are taught that a desire for something sweet is a character flaw, a sign that we are giving in to temptation. But the ancient texts, the ones written on parchment and passed down through generations of quiet observation, speak of a different truth. They teach that our bodies are profoundly wise, and a craving is simply the body's way of speaking its own language. The problem is not the craving itself, but our modern, clumsy translation of it. When your body whispers for sweetness, it is often not asking for the sharp, jarring shout of a candy bar or a pastry. That is a misunderstanding. It is asking for gentle energy. It is asking for comfort. It is asking for a slow, steady, and loving form of nourishment. And in the vast pharmacy of the natural world, there is perhaps no better answer to that call than the humble sweet potato. Imagine for a moment that your inner energy, your life force, is like a gently flowing river. The foods we eat are the tributaries that feed this river. Refined sugar and processed foods are like a flash flood, a sudden, violent rush of energy that quickly erodes the riverbanks, leaving you feeling depleted, shaky, and even more empty than before. It is a chaotic energy. The sweet potato, however, is like a deep, calm, underground spring. It feeds the river slowly, steadily, providing a consistent current of energy that can carry you through your day with grace and stability. This is not just poetry, it is a physiological reality. The sweet potato has what is called a low to medium glycemic index. This means it releases its natural sugars into your bloodstream gradually, not in a sudden, disruptive spike. This slow, gentle release is what prevents the energy crashes, the sugar cravings, and the insulin resistance that lie at the heart of so many of our modern health struggles. I remember a woman who came to see me. Let's call her Eleanor. She was in her late 60s and was trapped in a cycle of fatigue and sugar cravings. Every afternoon, around 3 p.m., she would be overcome by a desperate need for a cookie or a piece of cake. This would give her a brief lift, followed by a deeper crash, and she would end her day feeling exhausted and defeated. She saw it as a personal failure. I did not ask her to fight the craving. I asked her to honor it, but to answer it with a wiser choice. I suggested that instead of her afternoon cookie, she have a small, baked sweet potato that she had prepared the day before, perhaps with a sprinkle of cinnamon. She was skeptical, but she agreed to try. After a week, she returned, and her eyes were brighter. It's the strangest thing, Kai, she said. The craving is still there, but it's a friendly whisper now, not a desperate scream. And when I eat the sweet potato, I feel satisfied. I feel calm. The energy lasts. Eleanor had learned to translate her body's message. She learned that it wasn't asking for sugar. It was asking for sustenance. The simple root, with its complex carbohydrates and rich fiber, was the answer it had been seeking all along. It was a food that calmed the storm, instead of feeding it. So I ask you, what is your body truly asking for when it speaks to you? Are you listening to its whispers? Let's talk about the silent battle being waged within you every moment of every day. It is a battle that you cannot see or feel, but its outcome determines the quality and vitality of your years. In the simple act of living, of breathing, of eating, of experiencing stress, or walking through a polluted city, your body creates unstable molecules called free radicals. I like to think of these as tiny sparks that fly off the forge of life. If left unchecked, these sparks can land on healthy cells and cause a kind of slow, internal rusting process. This process, known as oxidative stress, is what contributes to the great challenges of aging, chronic inflammation, heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. But nature, in its infinite wisdom, has provided us with a team of devoted guardians to put out these sparks. They are called antioxidants, and the sweet potato is one of their most powerful storehouses. Think of antioxidants as your invisible bodyguards, patrolling every corner of your being. And the sweet potato is filled with them, especially the remarkable compound called beta-carotene, which is responsible for its brilliant, sunset orange color. When you eat a sweet potato, You are not just eating a root vegetable, you are dispatching a powerful peacekeeping force into your body. Your body, in its own alchemy, takes this beta-carotene and transforms it into vitamin A nutrient that is absolutely essential for the health of your skin, the clarity of your vision, and the strength of your immune system. The efficiency of this is astonishing. A single serving of cooked sweet potato can provide well over your entire daily need for vitamin A. The science on this is clear and reassuring. Studies, like one from the journal Food and Function, have shown that the compounds in both orange and purple sweet potatoes play a significant role in calming that internal rust, that oxidative stress and inflammation. Another study went even deeper, finding that foods rich in beta-carotene, like our humble sweet potato, help to reduce damage to our very DNA, the sacred blueprint of our lives. I once knew a man who was a retired architect. He told me, "Kai, my joints feel rusty, like old hinges." He felt that the spark of his own vitality was being extinguished. I suggested he begin thinking of his food differently. Instead of just a meal, every plate was a shipment of materials to his body's construction crew. The vibrant orange of the sweet potato was a shipment of the finest rust-proofing agent available. He began incorporating it into his daily life. Months later, he told me, "The rust is still there, but I feel like I have a crew working every day to polish it away. I feel protected from the inside out." He had learned to fuel his body with a plant-powered shield. He wasn't just eating, he was actively participating in his own healing, one delicious bite at a time. In our modern world, we have become accustomed to learning from books and screens. We trust the laboratory report, the nutritional chart, the scientific study, and these are wonderful tools, offering us a language of precision and proof. But in our rush to analyze, we have sometimes forgotten how to simply see. We have forgotten how to read the book of nature itself. There's an ancient way of knowing, a quiet wisdom that my teachers passed down to me, known as the doctrine of signatures. It is the simple, profound belief that nature leaves clues in the appearance of a plant telling us its purpose and its gift. A walnut, shaped like a brain, is thought to nourish the mind. The stalk of celery, like a bone, is rich in minerals for bone health. It is a form of poetry, a way of seeing the intention and connection in all things. And when we look at a sweet potato with these eyes, it begins to tell us a beautiful story. First, look at its color. It is not the sharp, aggressive red of a chili pepper, nor the cool, intellectual green of a cucumber. It is the deep, warm, gentle color of a late autumn sunset. This color is its first signature. It speaks of a calming, soothing energy. In traditional healing, this vibrant orange suggests a special ability to calm the internal fires of the body, what our modern science now calls inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a silent heat that smolders within us, contributing to arthritis, heart disease, and so much more. The gentle, sunset color of the sweet potato is nature's promise that it can help to cool that inner fire, to bring a sense of soothing peace to our joints and our entire system. Modern science, in its own language, now confirms this. It has found that the pigments that create this color, like beta-carotene and anthocyanins, actively reduce the very biomarkers of inflammation in our bodies. The ancient signature and the modern study tell the very same truth. Then consider its taste. In a world where we often believe that medicine must be bitter and healing must be a difficult struggle, the sweet potato offers a different lesson. Its sweetness is its second signature. It tells us that nourishment does not have to be a punishment. It can be a joy. It can be a source of comfort and delight. This gentle sweetness nourishes not just the cells of our body, but the parts of our spirit that crave comfort and kindness. Lastly, think of how it grows. It develops its richness quietly, patiently, hidden from sight in the dark, warm earth, drawing energy from the sun and transforming it into this beautiful, concentrated form of life. This is its third signature. It speaks of a grounding, stabilizing energy. It offers a solid foundation, not the fleeting, superficial buzz of a processed snack. It connects us to the earth, reminding us that true strength is often developed quietly, away from the noise of the world. By learning to read these signatures, we do more than just learn facts about a vegetable. we begin to re-engage with the world in a more intimate, connected way. We see that the food on our plate is not just fuel, but a story, a poem, a gift from the earth, with its purpose written right on its beautiful face. In the ancient traditions, the concept of health was often described as a balance of energies of hot and cold, of damp and dry. In our modern world, we have a different name for one of the most destructive imbalances: chronic inflammation. It has been called the silent killer, and for good reason. It is that smoldering, internal fire we spoke of, working quietly in the background of our lives, contributing to so many of the conditions we fear most: the stiffness of arthritis, the complexities of heart disease, the confusion of Alzheimer's. Our bodies were simply not designed for the constant inflammatory triggers of modern life. But here again, nature provides a gentle and powerful counterbalance, and the sweet potato contains a potent blend of compounds that can help to calm that internal fire, to restore balance without the side effects of synthetic drugs that we have already spoken of. The magnificent beta-carotene, the pigment that acts as both a bodyguard and a peacemaker in the body. But the sweet potato's wisdom runs even deeper. It contains a crucial nutrient called choline. Think of choline as a master diplomat for your immune system. When your body is under stress, the immune system can become overactive, sending out aggressive messengers that shout attack, 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 creating inflammation even when there is no real enemy. Choline steps in and speaks to these messengers with a calm, quiet authority. It helps to suppress the body's overproduction of these pro-inflammatory signals, reminding the system that all is well and that it can stand down. It helps to turn off the alarm bell that has been stuck ringing for years. And for an even deeper level of this calming effect, we look to the purple sweet potato. Its rich, violet hue comes from pigments called anthocyanins. These are among the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds found in nature. Scientific studies have shown they can directly inhibit the pathways of inflammation and can lower the levels of C-reactive protein, or CRP, which is a key marker that doctors look for in your blood to measure the level of inflammation throughout your entire body. I remember a woman with terribly painful, swollen joints in her hands. She said it felt like her hands were always on fire. She started to make a simple, creamy mash of purple sweet potatoes a regular part of her evening meal. She described the effect not as a cure, but as a gentle cooling. Over weeks and months, the angry heat began to subside. It was as if she were pouring a cool, soothing balm on the fire from the inside. She was using her dinner plate to bring peace to her body. This is the power we have. With every meal, we can choose to either fan the flames of inflammation with processed, irritating foods, or we can choose to offer our bodies a gentle, cooling rain. Asterisk in our quest for health, we often focus on the heart, the brain, or the muscles. But the ancient traditions teach us to look first to the source, to the very root system of our physical being, the gut. Your digestive system is not just a series of tubes for processing food. It is a vast and intelligent inner ecosystem, a kind of second brain that influences your mood, your immune system, and your overall vitality. If this inner garden is not well tended, the entire plant of your body cannot thrive. One of the most profound, yet lesser known, gifts of the sweet potato is its remarkable ability to bring harmony and balance to this essential inner world. The sweet potato works as a master gardener for your digestive system, and it uses two essential tools, two different types of fiber. The first is what we call insoluble fiber. Think of this as the gentle rake of the garden. It doesn't break down, but instead sweeps through your digestive tract, adding bulk and encouraging the regular, rhythmic movement that prevents constipation and keeps the system clean and clear. The second tool is soluble fiber. This is the rich, nourishing mulch of the garden. It absorbs water and creates a soft, gel-like substance that slows down digestion just enough for your body to properly absorb all the vitamins and minerals from the food you eat. This is also what helps you feel fuller and more satisfied, quieting the false hunger that often comes from a system in distress. But here is where the true magic lies. Your inner garden is home to trillions of tiny, helpful microorganisms. This is your microbiome. These tiny helpers are essential for your health, and like any living thing, They need to be fed. The sweet potato is a fantastic source of their favorite food, a special kind of fiber known as a prebiotic. When you eat a sweet potato, you are not just feeding yourself, you are presenting a feast to your inner allies. When they are well fed, they flourish, and in their happiness, they produce beneficial compounds like butyrate that directly nourish the lining of your colon and reduce the risk of inflammatory conditions. A man I once spoke with described his digestive life as a constant state of chaos and bloating. I suggested he try introducing a simple, steamed sweet potato into his diet each day. It was gentle enough not to irritate his system further, and it was the perfect food for his neglected inner helpers. It took time, but he described the change as a quiet sunrise. The chaotic bloating began to subside, replaced by a sense of calm predictability. He was not just eating, he was repopulating his inner world with friends, and those friends were healing him from the inside out. This is the profound path to digestive wellness that the sweet potato offers: a gentle sweeping, a deep nourishment, and a feast for your most important allies. Asterisk, your body is a kingdom, a sacred space with borders that must be protected. Your immune system is the vigilant and loyal guard of this kingdom. It is your frontline defense, standing ready to protect you from invading viruses and bacteria. A healthy immune system is both strong and wise. It knows when to attack a true threat and when to stand down to avoid harming its own kingdom. To perform this delicate and vital task, the guard needs the right tools and proper nourishment. The sweet potato, in its quiet wisdom, provides several of the most essential nutrients to keep your guardian strong, responsive, and resilient. First, let's consider the walls of your kingdom. These are the mucosal barriers that line your respiratory and digestive tracts, your first line of physical defense against the outside world. For these walls to be strong and unbroken, they require a constant supply of vitamin A. As we've discussed, your body brilliantly creates this vitamin from the beta-carotene found so abundantly in orange. Sweet potatoes, when your vitamin A levels are sufficient, these walls are like a well-maintained fortress, blocking invaders from ever gaining entry. But if you are deficient, the walls can become weak and porous, leaving you far more vulnerable to respiratory illnesses and other infections. Next, every kingdom needs its soldiers, the white blood cells that act as your immune system's attack team. The production and function of these cells are heavily influenced by vitamin C. Vitamin C is like the rallying cry that calls the soldiers to readiness, stimulating the lymphocytes and phagocytes that are responsible for recognizing and destroying invading pathogens. Just 1 cup of cooked sweet potato can provide nearly a third of your daily requirement for this essential nutrient, making it a reliable and natural source for keeping your inner army strong. But a strong army also needs good intelligence. This is where vitamin B6 comes in, another nutrient found in sweet potatoes. Vitamin B6 plays a vital role in the production of antibodies, the intelligence officers of your immune system. Antibodies are what identify and tag invaders, creating a memory so that the next time that same enemy appears, your kingdom's defenses can respond with overwhelming speed and efficiency. I knew a woman, a retired school teacher, who felt she was constantly battling colds and flu. Her kingdom was under constant siege. We worked on nourishing her immune system, on rebuilding her fortress walls and resupplying her guards. The humble, comforting sweet potato became her ally. It provided the vitamin A to seal the walls, the vitamin C to rally the soldiers, and the B6 to sharpen the intelligence. She didn't stop being exposed to germs, but she felt a new resilience. She felt protected. By making the sweet potato a regular part of her meals, she wasn't just enjoying a tasty food. She was actively reinforcing the defenders of her own precious kingdom. We have spoken of the beautiful, life-giving nutrients contained within the sweet potato, these remarkable gifts from the earth. But now I must share a truth that is even more fundamental, a secret that can amplify the power of any healthy food you ate. What if I told you that the most potent nutritional supplement in the world is not a vitamin or a mineral, but an emotion? What if the most vital ingredient in any meal is a simple feeling of gratitude? In our hurried world, we often eat while standing, driving, or staring at a screen. Our minds filled with the worries of the day. We treat the act of eating as a mechanical refueling, something to be done as quickly as possible. But in doing so, we are only receiving a fraction of the nourishment that the food has to offer. The body cannot be fully nourished when the mind and spirit are in a state of distraction and stress. I want you to picture two different people. The first person takes a perfectly cooked, nutrient-dense sweet potato and eats it standing over the kitchen sink while scrolling through stressful news on their phone. Their shoulders are tense, their breathing is shallow, their mind is 1,000 miles away. Now, picture a second person, sitting at a quiet table with the very same sweet potato. Before they take a bite, they simply pause, they take one deep breath. They look at the food on their plate, noticing the deep orange color, the steam rising from its flesh. They feel its warmth, and for just a moment, they consider the journey it took to get to them, the energy of the sun, the gift of the rain, the richness of the soil, the labor of the farmer. They feel a quiet wave of gratitude for the simple gift of sustenance. Now I ask you, which person do you believe will receive the most healing, the most energy, the most profound nourishment from that meal? The answer is clear, and it is not just a spiritual idea, it is a physiological fact. When we are in a state of stress, our bodies enter a fight or flight mode. The nervous system diverts energy away from digestion to prepare for a perceived threat. We cannot properly break down our food or absorb its nutrients when our bodies are bracing for battle. But when we are in a state of calm and gratitude, our bodies enter the rest and digest state. The nervous system sends a powerful signal to our digestive organs to open, to relax, and to fully receive the nourishment being offered. Gratitude is not just a pleasant thought, it is a biological command to your body to unlock the full healing potential of your food. I invite you to try a simple practice. Before your next meal, just pause. Before you pick up your fork, take 3 slow, quiet breaths. Look at the colors and textures on your plate. Offer a silent word of thanks, either to the earth, to the hands that prepared it, or simply to the moment itself. This small ritual, taking no more than 30 seconds, can transform the entire experience. It turns the mechanical act of eating into a sacred act of connection. It tells your body, you are safe, you are cared for. Receive this gift by adding this one missing ingredient. You will find that your food not only tastes better, but it will nourish you on a level you may have never thought possible. Our eyes are the sacred windows through which we witness the beauty of our lives. They allow us to see the faces of those we love, the splendor of a sunrise, the intricate dance of birds in the sky, and the familiar words of a favorite book. To protect our vision as we age is to protect our connection to this world of beauty. It is a profound act of self-care, and once again, nature has provided a humble and powerful ally in this task. The brilliant orange color of the sweet potato is not just beautiful to look at, it is a clear signal from nature, a signature, that it holds a special gift for the health of our eyes. The primary nutrient responsible for this gift is beta-carotene, which our bodies so wisely convert into vitamin A. Vitamin A is absolutely essential for the health of our vision. Think of it as the master caretaker for your windows to the world. First, it helps to maintain the cornea, which is the clear, outer surface of your eye. It keeps this outer pane of glass clear, moist, and protected from the irritations of the world. Without enough vitamin A, the eyes can become dry and vulnerable, and our vision can suffer. But its work goes much deeper. Within the retina, at the back of the eye, vitamin A is a critical component of a pigment called rhodopsin. This pigment is what allows you to see in low light conditions. It is what helps your eyes adjust when you walk into a darkened room, preventing the condition known as night blindness. The generosity of the sweet potato in providing this nutrient is truly astonishing. A single medium-sized sweet potato can deliver more than 4 times your entire recommended daily intake of vitamin A. It is nature's most potent eye supplement, delivered in a warm, delicious package, and its gifts don't stop there. One of the greatest fears as we grow older is macular degeneration, a condition that robs us of our sharp, central vision. The sweet potato also contains other nutrients, like vitamin C and B6, that work as a team to protect the macula from the oxidative Stress that leads to this decline. I had an old friend, a retired librarian, who loved to read more than anything. He confessed to me one day that he was becoming afraid of the evenings because the words on the page were starting to blur. He felt his world was shrinking. We talked about feeding the eyes, about intentionally choosing foods that would support his vision. He began to make a baked sweet potato a regular part of his evening routine. He said it became a comforting ritual. He wasn't just eating, he was actively caring for his sight. He told me that while it didn't reverse the years, he felt a new sense of stability, a slowing of the decline. He was no longer a passive victim of aging. He was an active participant in preserving his own window to the world. That is a peace that no medicine alone can provide. Asterisk of all the precious gifts we are given in this life, perhaps none is more sacred than the mind. It is the seat of our consciousness, the vessel that holds our memories, our personality, our ability to love, to learn, and to connect. It is the essence of who we are. To nourish the brain is not just a matter of health. It is a spiritual practice dedicated to preserving the self. And in the great garden of nature, we find that certain foods seem to have a special affinity for this most sacred of our organs. The sweet potato, especially its deep purple variety, is more than just a comfort food. It is truly brain food. The brain is an incredibly active organ. It consumes a tremendous amount of energy, and in doing so, it generates a great deal of oxidative stress, those sparks we spoke of earlier. This is why antioxidants are so vital for cognitive health. They are the guardians that protect our delicate neurons from damage. We've talked about the power of beta-carotene, but the real cognitive magic may lie in the anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for the rich violet color of purple sweet potatoes. These compounds are potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatory, agents that seem to have a special mission to protect the brain. They enhance blood flow, ensuring our brain cells receive the oxygen and nutrients they need to thrive. And they actively shield our neurons from the damage that leads to age-related cognitive decline. This is not simply ancient folklore. The science is beginning to illuminate this truth. In one study, mice that were fed an extract from purple sweet potatoes showed improved memory and enhanced learning capabilities. The researchers suggested that these anthocyanins directly supported the brain's ability to form and reorganize connections, a process we call neuroplasticity. Even more inspiring, a study with older human adults who had mild cognitive impairment found that consuming antioxidant-rich foods, including sweet potatoes, led to notable improvements in their working memory and attention span within just a few weeks. I remember a woman, a retired university professor, who came to me deeply distressed. She described her mind as being filled with a persistent fog. The words she had commanded with such elegance for decades were now often just out of reach. She feared she was losing the very essence of herself. I explained that her brain might be tired, that it might be feeling the effects of that low, smoldering inflammation. We talked about feeding it, about providing the specific nutrients that could help clear the fog. The purple sweet potato became her ally. She would roast one and eat it as she did her daily crossword puzzle. She described the change not as a sudden miracle, but as the mist slowly lifting from a valley at dawn. The words began to return. Her focus sharpened. She felt she was regaining her footing in her own mind. By choosing her food with intention, she was not just feeding her body, she was fueling her mind and reclaiming herself. Our skin is a beautiful and honest storyteller. It is the canvas upon which our inner health is painted for the world to see. We can spend a great deal of time and resources applying creams and lotions to the surface of this canvas, but a true, lasting glow, the kind of radiance that speaks of genuine vitality, is not something that can be painted on. It must shine from within. The health of your skin is a direct reflection of the nourishment and balance you cultivate inside your body. It is no surprise, then, that a food as deeply nourishing as the sweet potato can be one of our greatest allies in achieving healthy, graceful skin. The primary artist at work here is, once again, the magnificent beta-carotene. When your body transforms this pigment into vitamin A, it goes to work as a master caretaker for your skin. It encourages the healthy turnover of skin cells, a process that can slow as we age. It gently clears away the old, dry, and flaky cells, allowing the fresh, vibrant new skin to emerge, keeping the canvas smooth and clear. But it also performs a task that is truly remarkable. Studies have shown that a diet rich in beta-carotene can act as a kind of internal sunshield. It helps to protect your skin cells from the inside out, from some of the damaging effects of UV radiation that lead to premature aging. It doesn't replace the need for external protection, of course, but it adds another layer of deep, cellular defense. But a beautiful canvas also needs a strong framework to keep it smooth and taut. This is where vitamin C plays its vital role. Vitamin C is absolutely essential for your body's ability to produce collagen, the structural protein that acts as the very scaffolding of your skin. It is collagen that keeps your skin firm, plump, and youthful. When our diet lacks sufficient vitamin C, the collagen scaffolding begins to weaken, leading to sagging, fine lines, and wrinkles. By providing a rich source of this collagen-building nutrient, the sweet potato helps you to maintain and repair this essential framework. I remember a woman who was distressed by her skin, which she described as dull and tired. She was trying to paint a masterpiece on a canvas that hadn't been properly prepared. I suggested she think of the sweet potato as both the canvas prepper, with its vitamin A, and the framework builder, with its vitamin C. She began to make it a regular part of her life. Some months later, she told me her friends had started asking her what new cream she was using. She smiled and told them her secret was not a cream, but a commitment to nourishing her skin from the inside. The glow they saw was not from a bottle. It was the light of her own inner health, finally able to shine through. Asterisk, there is perhaps no greater battleground in our modern relationship with food than the subject of weight. We are taught to fight our bodies, to restrict, to deprive, and to conquer our hunger with sheer force of will. It is an exhausting and often heartbreaking war, a cycle of struggle and surrender that can last a lifetime. But what if the path to a healthy, natural weight is not a path of war, but a path of peace? What if the goal is not to starve the body into submission, but to nourish it so completely that it no longer asks for what it doesn't need? It may seem strange to suggest that a food that is naturally sweet could be an ally in this journey, but the sweet potato, in its gentle wisdom, can help us end the battle and find a peaceful, sustainable balance. Its first gift in this regard is the feeling of deep satisfaction it provides. The sweet potato is rich in that wonderful soluble fiber we spoke of earlier, the kind that absorbs water and gently swells in your stomach. This sends a clear and calming message from your stomach to your brain that says, I am content, I am nourished, there's enough. This feeling of fullness or satiety is the key to ending the cycle of craving and overeating. When you feel genuinely satisfied by your meals, you are far less likely to wander into the kitchen an hour later, searching for a snack you don't truly need. It allows you to step off the roller coaster of hunger and find a place of calm stability. But the sweet potato has another, even more powerful secret. It is a wonderful source of something called resistant starch. This is a special type of carbohydrate that resists being broken down in the small intestine. Instead, it travels all the way to your large intestine, where it becomes a superfood for your beneficial gut bacteria. As your gut bacteria feast on this resistant starch, they release compounds that are incredibly helpful for weight balance. These compounds help to regulate the very hormones that control your appetite, like ghrelin and leptin, and have even been shown to improve your body's ability to burn fat for energy. I knew a gentleman who had been on countless diets. He lived in a state of perpetual hunger. He saw his body as his enemy. I suggested he stop dieting and simply make one change. With his evening meal, he would replace his usual white bread or white rice with half of a baked sweet potato. He was skeptical, thinking its sweetness would be his downfall, but he discovered the opposite. He told me, for the first time in years, I don't feel hungry after I eat. The battle is over. He wasn't focused on losing weight. He was focused on feeling satisfied. And in that satisfaction, his body began to let go of the extra weight it had been holding onto. He had made peace with his body, and the sweet potato was his peace offering. Asterisk, we must now speak of a topic that touches many of our lives with a sense of fear and helplessness. We speak of cancer. In our modern approach, we often see this as a battle to be waged with powerful, external treatments, and these treatments can be life-saving and necessary. But the ancient traditions of healing also invite us to ask a different question. Beyond fighting the disease, how can we cultivate a vibrant inner terrain where illness finds it difficult to take root in the first place? How can we strengthen our body's own profound wisdom and its natural defense systems? This is not about seeking a single magic cure, but about creating a state of deep cellular harmony. And here, too, the science is beginning to suggest that the humble sweet potato may play a powerful, protective role. At the heart of every one of your cells is your DNA, the sacred blueprint that instructs the cell how to grow, function, and live in harmony with its neighbors. The oxidative stress we have spoken of, the sparks from the forge of life, can damage this blueprint, creating errors in the code. These errors can sometimes lead a cell to forget its role, to begin growing out of control, creating the disharmony we call cancer. The antioxidants found so richly in sweet potatoes, like beta-carotene, act as the guardians of this sacred blueprint. They patrol your inner world, neutralizing the damaging free radicals before they can corrupt the code, thus protecting the integrity of your cells at the most fundamental level. The deep purple sweet potato, with its special anthocyanin pigments, seems to possess an even more specific wisdom. Scientific studies have begun to uncover something truly remarkable. These compounds appear to encourage a process known as apoptosis. This is the body's own innate intelligence, a beautiful system of quality control. When a cell becomes damaged or dangerous, the body gently instructs it to self-destruct, to dissolve peacefully for the good of the entire community of cells. It is a quiet, orderly process that prevents chaos from spreading. In laboratory and animal studies, the anthocyanins from purple sweet potatoes have been shown to trigger the self-destruct sequence in certain types of cancer cells and to suppress tumor formation. Now, we must be clear, this is not a proven cure for cancer in humans, but it is a profound indication of the protective power of this food. I remember a man who was undergoing treatment and felt completely powerless, as if his life was entirely in the hands of his doctors. He wanted to know what he could do. I suggested he think of his meals as his personal way of participating in his healing. He could use his food to build a stronger, more resilient inner terrain. The deep purple sweet potato on his plate became a symbol of hope for him. It was a tangible sign that he was actively providing his body with the tools to protect its healthy cells and clean house. It shifted him from a state of passive fear to one of active hope. This is a gift we can all give ourselves. With every bite of this nourishing food, we are strengthening our cellular armor and creating an inner environment that is rooted in harmony and health. We have traveled through the many rooms of the magnificent house that is your body, exploring how the sweet potato can bring peace to your gut, calm to your inner fire, and strength to your immune system. Now, let us go into the engine room to meet the quiet, diligent workers who make all of this possible. These are the essential vitamins, the unsung heroes who manage thousands of critical processes every single second. A food can be full of promise, but without these foundational workers, that promise cannot be unlocked. The sweet potato, in its generosity, is a wonderful source of these vital helpers, particularly the versatile vitamin C and the essential B-complex vitamins. Many of us think of vitamin C only when we feel a cold coming on, and it is indeed a great champion for the immune system, but its role is far, far broader. Vitamin C is the master architect of your body's connective tissues. It is absolutely essential for producing collagen, the protein that gives strength to your bones, elasticity to your skin, and resilience to your blood vessels. Without enough vitamin C, this inner architecture begins to weaken. It also acts as a helpful partner to other nutrients, significantly improving your body's ability to absorb iron from plant-based foods, which is crucial for maintaining your energy and vitality. Then there are the B vitamins, the great regulators of our energy and our mind. The sweet potato provides a meaningful amount of vitamin B6, a nutrient that is profoundly connected to our brain health. It is a key building block for the neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the very chemical messengers that regulate our mood, our sleep, and our ability to focus. A deficiency in B6 has been linked to feelings of depression and to the cognitive decline that can shadow our later years. The sweet potato also delivers vitamin B5, which plays a vital role in helping your body convert the food you eat into the energy you use, ensuring your inner engine is running smoothly and efficiently. I once spoke with a woman who didn't have one specific major illness, but she said she felt depleted. Her energy was low, her mood was flat, and she just didn't feel resilient. Her body's support crew was running on empty. By focusing on whole foods that reliably deliver these unsung heroes, like the sweet potato, she began to feel her system coming back online. It wasn't one dramatic change, but 100 small improvements. Her energy steadied, her mood brightened. She felt more whole. She was providing her body with the diligent workers it needed to repair, to regulate, and to thrive. So we have arrived at the end of our journey together, having explored the 12 profound ways this humble root can bring harmony and healing to your body. To know this is a wonderful thing, but knowledge is only the seed. For that seed to grow into a vibrant tree of health, it must be planted in the soil of your daily life. The final question, and perhaps the most important, is how do we make this nourishing food a joyful and effortless part of our routine? How do we invite it into our kitchen not as a chore, but as a welcome friend? The beauty of the sweet potato lies in its versatility. It is happy to be savory or sweet, a star of the meal or a humble companion. Here are a few simple invitations to bring it to your table. For a simple and profound comfort, you can roast it to perfection. When you cut it into wedges, toss it with a little olive oil and herbs, and bake it in the oven. You are performing a kind of alchemy, transforming its starches into a deep, satisfying sweetness that no candy can replicate. For a feeling of pure, soothing comfort, you can prepare creamy mashed sweet potatoes. Boil them until they are tender, and mash them with a little olive oil or yogurt for a warm, nourishing embrace in a bowl. To create a complete and vibrant meal, bake one whole and load it with nutritious toppings like black beans and avocado, or chickpeas and spinach, turning the potato into the foundation for a feast. You can even blend a cooled, cooked sweet potato into your morning smoothie for a creamy, fiber-rich start to your day that will keep your energy stable for hours. Or satisfy a craving for a familiar comfort by slicing them into fries and baking them until crisp. A wise and nourishing answer to a call for a savory snack. These are just a few ideas, a few pathways. The journey is yours to explore. We have seen how this one simple food, a gift from the earth, has the power to support so many areas of your health, from your brain to your blood pressure, from your skin to your spirit. It proves that sometimes the most powerful medicine is not found in a laboratory, but grows quietly underground, waiting for us. You do not need expensive supplements or complicated, restrictive diets to begin your healing journey. The power is on your plate. It is in your hands. Every meal is an opportunity, a choice to offer your body something that brings it closer to harmony. Every bite of this nourishing food is a quiet act of healing, a way of saying to your body, I am listening, I am here, I am caring for you. So I invite you to begin, not as a struggle or a diet, but as a simple, delicious step toward a more vibrant and healthier life. A life where you are not just watching a video, but becoming the healthiest version of yourself.